This graph is the graph of the psi function. Now we're gonna put together to find the standard form of the psi function as y equals k plus a times psi of bx plus c. The graph has the maximum at 3, minimum at -3. So we're gonna start with finding the a. Finding a using the amplitude. The amplitude, which is absolute value to a, from 1/2 multiplied by the absolute value of the max minus the minimum, or 1/2 times the absolute value of 3 minus -3. The amplitude is 3. And the amplitude is 3. And this graph has no refraction. That tells us that the a equals 3. So a is obtained. And next for the value b. B is used in a formula to find the period. The period is computed by the length from the end of the cycle, by subtracting the right end of the cycle, which is 3 pi over 4, by the beginning of the cycle, which is negative pi over 4. And that comes out to be the value pi. So just together here. So since the period equals, I'm going to put the detail again. The right end 3 pi over 4 subtracted by the left end, which is negative pi over 4, comes out to be 4 pi over 4 or just pi. And the formula to compute the period is 2 pi divided by b. Now we're going to solve for b. So from this equation that we set up, so we solve for b, cross multiply. So b equals 2 pi divided by pi, which is the value 2. So we have a equals 3 and b equals 2 so far. Next, the phase shift. The phase shift, the formula is negative c divided by b. And the phase shift is the starting point of the cycle, or the phase shift of this graph. The phase shift equals negative pi over 4. So we're going to solve for b based on this equation. The b value is 2. So we replace b with the value 2 here. And then work on this equation to solve for c. Just rewrite it as negative c over 2 equals negative pi over 4. Negative and negative will be cancelled. And then multiply both sides by 2. We get c equals 2 pi over 4 or pi over 2. Now we got the c as pi over 2. And then next, we're going to find the value k, which tells us about the vertical shift. This graph, no vertical shift because the max and min just the same number as absolute value of the a and negative of absolute value of the a. So the graph has no vertical shift. If no vertical shift, that means no k, or k equals 0. Now we get all 4 numbers, write them all together in the standard form of the trig function. Y equals 3 times psi of 2x plus pi over 2.